Hi, I'm Paul Morris, host of Radical Wealth Plan. I'm a New York Times best-selling author, prolific investor, and award-winning entrepreneur dedicated to helping you find and fulfill your personal vision of wealth by investing in real estate. So whether you're new to the game, an investment professional, or a real estate titan, join us to be entertained, educated, and inspired. This is Radical Wealth Plan, a new podcast presented by Entrepreneur Media.
All right, I'm kind of excited about today's subject matter, right? Because you're going to illustrate to us how we can actually make money on a home purchase, like treat that like an investment.
Yep.
You know, what you explained to me was when you bought your house, the day you bought it, you made $1 million.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is true.
Okay. And you're going to show me how to do it and inevitably show everybody else. But
okay, so the best way to do that in real terms is to do it by a percentage. So to be fair, right, I did make $1 million the day I bought the house. It was a $5 million house. I buy the house at $4,650,000, and the day that I buy it, I've made $1 million. So it's more than 20%.
right.
It's going to run somewhere in the low 20s.
So you're asserting you're buying it below market value.
Correct. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And the cool thing about that is I bought it at the height of the market, which means that this is a time where it's very difficult to get a good deal. It's the hardest time to get a good deal because anything that's remotely a decent deal, there's a line out the door.
Right.
Okay, so it's the hottest time of the market. It's not like now. It's easier to do that right now.
There's lots of opportunity in this market.
Okay. The second myth is that in order to buy something really 20 plus % below market, you have to find an off market, right? Otherwise, how do you buy 20% less than market if it's not off market?
Is that an insider thing? And is that the only way?
That's the myth because I did not buy the house. It was not off market.
It was on market.
It was on the market.
Where do we start?
So for starters, it has to be a value add. There has to be something about the house that is chasing away the buyers.
Yeah.
And so one of the terms that I use is brain damage. There's got to be significant brain damage. Otherwise, in a hot market, and it's not an off-market property, you're gonna pay retail plus.
Now, and so what I've seen in some hot markets is even things with brain damage or, there's a certain level of acceptability that buyers have in a hot market for defect or for dings, right?
That's correct.
I bought a car with, had 3,000 miles on it already and it's, just as good as new, right?
Yeah.
In the buyer's perception, right? And then in a more challenging market like we're in right now, we see that that those considerations just evaporated. The buyers are looking to have their money go further for those, and those dings can just
kill a deal,
kill a property, right?
Sure. And to use your metaphor, if I'm looking to buy a vehicle which is the hottest vehicle around, and I want to buy new, and then you're like, well, we have one. It's got 3,000 miles. I'm like, it's just like
exactly.
new.
Yeah.
That's the metaphor you're giving me.
Yeah.
The flip side is when it's really a buyer's market. Now, the car that I like and the color that I like with the options that I like has 3,000 miles on it. I'm like, hey, I'm treating it like a used car. I want a smoking deal on that. And when I bought the house, it was definitely a seller's market. So it was the car that has 3,000 miles that where everybody's overlooking. So that's the little ding. On the other hand, if there are some significant The brain damage has to be steeper brain damage too. We're going to overlook in the other market.
Sure.
We're going to overlook some of the little defects, but in this market, it's easier to do what I did. 5 times easier.
Yeah, finding it. I mean, to get to 20% too. 20% is significant.
It's more than 20%.
Right.
So let's get to it.
Come on, let's go.
Let me talk about what was good about the house. Spectacular. The house has an A+ view. I mean, I would call it 90. Can you get better? Yeah, you can get better. It's a 95 out of 100, maybe more. I mean, if you talk about out of 100 houses,
it's pretty sexy
99.
View. Pretty sexy view.
So the view's killer.
Yeah. And the view almost has nothing to do with the house itself, right? It's correct. The land that view is attached to the land value.
Correct. It has a spectacular view. It's really very centrally located in Los Angeles, and yet when I'm home, I feel like I'm in the countryside. Nobody would believe, like, wow, you're 8 minutes away from West Hollywood, which is totally bustling. You're 8 minutes away from Studio City, which is totally bustling, and you just go up that hill and it's like you're in the countryside.
Yeah.
It's at 1,600 feet above sea level, I think. It's enough altitude that it's a temperature change. And it's certainly an air. There's a valley that goes straight from the ocean right there. You get the cool ocean air. So I guess that's what's great.
Well, there's some great things about the house too, no?
Sure.
Why don't you mention a few?
What else is great about the house?
It's got lots of square footage.
Yeah, 5,000 square feet, almost 5,000 square feet, all on one level.
You get to experience it all.
Experience it all.
And the guinea pigs get to have it.
Yeah, they get their own room. I mean, we'll leave that in the podcast so that they know that we cut it out so they think I'm not as weird as.
Okay.
Guinea pig's not by my choice. How about that?
I know.
That's all true. We're going to stay on the good. Infinity pool.
Beautiful.
Overlooking the vista.
Beautifully appointed pool. It's right at the edge. It's you're swimming on the edge of the world.
Correct.
It's a great experience.
So where's the brain damage? Do we get to the brain damage yet, or you want to still go with the good? A little bit more good?
Sure, if you got it in you.
Okay. The primary bedroom, phenomenally high ceilings, really large closet off of that, giant bathroom off of there, huge shower.
That whole wing is probably like 800 to 1,000 square feet in itself. You're living in that 1,200 square foot apartment, but it's just your bedroom now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
In a hot market, super hot market, sounds like the product should be flying off the shelf. It should go into multiple. It should be priced right. Priced right, by the way. Mm-hmm. Priced right. Not priced high, priced right is already $1 million more than I paid. And I think if you priced it at $1 million more than I paid without all the brain damage I'm getting ready to tell you about, it would have gone in multiples and gone more than $1 million above what I paid.
Even with all the brain damage.
Without the brain damage.
Without the
brain damage, it would have
gone in multiples.
And landed more than $1 million
over what your purchase price was.
So to say that I closed on the house and made $1 million the day I closed on the house could be an underestimate, but you've got to work in the amount of money that you have to spend to get the brain damage fixed.
Sure.
So if you build in the amount of money that I have to spend to fix the brain damage, I'm still $1 million ahead.
Because if you did all the work that needed to be done, you put the $1 million into it, you would have it would have been like exponentially.
It wasn't $1 million to fix all this stuff. Way less.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't do all this stuff.
Right.
Okay. Which is another interesting thing. But if I did all this stuff to fix all the brain damage, it would be about $200,000.
$200,000.
And then if you spent the $200,000, then you're definitely going to get $1.2 million or more higher. So my net out after the brain damage, after the stuff is fixed, is still $1 million. That's why I can really say
Yeah, no,
sign the docs.
Yep.
I'm plus $1 million.
So we talked about the value
good
of
stuff.
the good stuff of the.
Yes. So now we'll get with the bad. I mean, the other neighbor is actually right next door. Like, so I'm talking like share a wall. So it's, share a wall. And then there's a row of houses. So there are houses next to each other. And I'm way on the ends. There's no house next to me. But right to the left of me, I'm sharing a wall with the fire department. So brain damage, number one, which can you fix that?
For most buyers, I think that was probably a huge hurdle for that house. Mm-hmm. Right? Talking about a $4.5 million house next to the fire station. It's the most magnificent location, right? And it also, I think there was probably people who just couldn't get past that.
For sure. And one of the things that I always do is I consult with my tight-knit group of realtors.
Sure.
And then I'll go a step deeper and I'll go into the folks that I know that really know that particular neighborhood.
Because that fire station is, it's a little idiosyncratic in that it's almost like a historical presence. Like they don't
actually go out and fight.
Yeah, fires, it's like the fire. You have to have a certain seniority to even get into that fire station. It's more of a
retirement home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For firemen.
Yeah, and so to put that into phenomenal. And they invited me over. I had dinner, and they made chili. So there's the real thing is
Firehouse chili.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one brain damage is fire station right next door. It's not an inner city fire station. If you live near an inner city fire station, you would hear the sirens, blowing out at any time. But that doesn't mean they couldn't get a call in the middle of the night. So you're going to get, nobody wants to be woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning with a fire, even just once in a while. I've now been there close to 3 years. I guess 2.5. I've been there 2.5 years. Have not been woken up in the middle of the night one time in 2.5 years.
But they don't come out. They
don't put the siren on.
They don't put the sirens on. Yeah.
I mean, the only time I ever heard the siren was 4th of July, and not this 4th of July. It was last 4th of July. And it's not that they're not going out, they are, but they don't use the siren because they know they have neighbors, and they only need the siren when there's traffic. There's no traffic. Right. So they roll the doors open. One guy stands out in the middle of the street. The truck comes out and they drive off, and they may never turn the siren on, but they certainly don't turn it on until they're way out of earshot. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, you look at the upside because there's only 2 trucks in there. One's the medic truck, and the other is the fire engine. And, one thing, they're like, we're not going to let your house burn down, number one. Number two, they're like, hey, you know what? If ever you're in a medical emergency, don't call 911, knock on the door. Yeah. Because they're right there. Yeah. And of course, it's great advice for everyone is make sure you're friends with your neighbor. And if your neighbor is the most rotten person in the world, let them be right all day long. That's advice.
Sure.
Be friends with your neighbor, because you don't want if you already have the rotten neighbor, don't tangle with the rotten neighbor. Let them tangle with somebody else. But these are great neighbors. I mean,
the best.
That's brain damage one. How do you cure that? Maybe you don't cure that. And when I consulted with a couple of my really tight realtor friends that knew the area, they go, well, one guy said, well, you're right next to the fire station. I go, yeah. I go, that sounds like a problem. He goes, but don't you remember we sold the house like 3 doors down to his friend, his family friend, and they lived there for years and they never heard the fire thing. So I didn't remember that, actually. Okay, so that's great, because what they told me was you won't hear it. And now we've got proof you won't hear it. And then the other guy said, yeah, but you're next to the fire station. I go, okay. Because that's going to chase away a certain number of buyers.
Yeah.
Whether it's a real problem or just a perceived problem, it's still a perceived problem.
Absolutely.
When you list a house, they're going to go, wow, next to the fire station, don't want to look at it.
You have to think about that down the road if you have to sell it or if you
Absolutely.
go to sell it.
No question.
So are you receiving the benefit on the buy that is expected from a future buyer on their buy?
Yeah, and that's a detraction. That's brain damage you don't fix.
Yeah.
So that depresses the sale price.
Built into the value of the property.
That depresses the sale price. Then when you go to sell again, that depresses the sale price.
Yeah.
So in fairness, that's not even brain damage.
Because it travels with the property.
It's not getting
fixed. It's a fixed. It's it's brain damage that cannot be cured. It wasn't cured before you. Cannot be cured after you.
Yeah, that's correct. Now let's get into the things that are real brain damage and stuff that scares away people. So that the fire station is a product defect, at least in some buyers' eyes. It's a perceived product defect that you can't fix.
Right.
So you got to identify. It's actually a good example because I hadn't thought of it, but you identify all of the defects, and then you figure out. I was going to say you figure out how much it costs to fix them, but there are some defects you can't fix.
Sure.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Busy street is a defect you cannot fix.
Location
Correct.
is a defect you cannot fix in general.
Yeah, and you want to be near a great school because that raises the value of a house. If you're next to a great school, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because, there's recess, there's whatever, there's kids screaming, there's traffic is terrible at drop off and pickup. Near a great school adds a lot of value. Too close to any school is tough.
In a great school district, not next door to the school.
Correct.
Got it.
Here's the crux of the value. The crux of the value is this. This was a house that was flipped, meaning an investor bought the house, did all the work on the house in order to resell the house and make a profit. And he did make a good profit, but he did a lot of things wrong. So bad that it's scaring away. That's what scared away the buyers. So now there's only two possible buyers in a hot market. The two possible buyers are somebody that wants to buy and make a profit. And secondly, somebody who's the end user. It's mostly the end user. And then what this house presented as a general overview is this house presented, developers don't want it because it's already done and done poorly. Okay? That wipes them out. That's small. It's a small piece. Now you've got a house that should be right. I mean, the list price was $475, so they already were pricing it low, because $1,000 a square foot with that kind of view, you can't touch it.
Cannot.
So you're already pricing it lower, and it wasn't low enough to attract a very serious buyer at that price. Now, eventually it did, but it sat for a while. So now you've got a very hot market, and you've got a house that's sitting for a while, which is all another red flag. When all these houses are going in multiples, this one's priced really well, and it's just sitting. What's going on? And the defects are basically as follows. Short list of the defects. HVAC system, brand new, does not work. Pool equipment, not just regular pool equipment. It was A+ pool equipment and overbuilt. In other words, like more horsepower than you need for that size pool, like 1.5 times. No way to turn it on. There's no way to turn it on. So you have an inspector. The inspector comes and goes, "Hey, you got brand new pool equipment. Can't tell you whether it works or not." Seems like it should work, but I can't tell you.
Yeah.
The home inspector says, "Hey, your HVAC doesn't work." And I go, "Oh, well, why is that?" He goes, "I don't know. I'm not an HVAC guy." I'm like, "Wait a minute." And then he asks me, "How long are you in the business? How long have you been in the business?" I'm like, "Okay, like where am I showing, how long I've been around and still don't know basic things?"
The general inspectors have a general knowledge of a lot of things.
Correct.
and they will call out
Correct.
any specific defects that need the attention of a licensed contractor.
Right. So I said to him, okay, I've been in the business a long time, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to walk me through that piece. He goes, okay, I'm a home inspector. Here's what I do. I go in, he goes, I take the room temperature, whatever the room temperature is. Let's say the room temperature is 72. He goes, I throw the air conditioner on, and I see how long it takes for the room temperature to go down 5 degrees or 10 degrees or whatever it is. And the amount of time it tells me whether the thing is working right. And I turn the air conditioner off, I get the room temperature, I throw the heat on. How long does it take to get up 5 degrees higher than the room temperature? Now I know the air conditioning is working. Now I know the heater's working, or it's not. I go to turn yours on, it doesn't turn on. I'm not an HVAC guy. I don't know why it's not turning on. I'm like, okay, interesting. They put in way too many overhead lights.
Oh, yeah.
Just rows of overhead lights, okay? And then the ones that they put in were the cheapest ones made. So the light is scorching. And then now I've got 100 overhead lights in my house. There's 2 ways to go. One is off and the other is on. Now each room, of course, has its own switch. So, but it's like you go at night, you come in and you throw the kitchen lights on. It's like
somebody takes your picture.
No
dimmer.
No dimmer. You go into the living room, and that was at that point, because I took one of my really good friends who's a great real estate investor, and we went over at night, and he threw the lights on. He's like, "Oh my God!" And like that was enough even to throw and I'm like, "How much does that cost to fix?" He goes, "I'm just afraid you're going to be chasing this thing, like chasing the money hole, chasing it down." He goes, I would run from this place. That's what he said. When I got serious about it, so I saw the value, because I knew there was immediate value, because I know this is a spectacular view. It's less than $1,000 a square foot, which is unheard of and not available. There was not another house on the market that had that kind of view. And if it were on the market, it would be at $1,200 a square foot. There's your 20%.
Sure.
I got the best home inspector I could find. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. I asked around.
Sure. And
I asked for somebody who's tough. Said, I want tough and thorough. And they go, oh, well, home inspector normally charges, $4.25. This guy charges $5.50. I'm like, that sounds good to me. I call the guy up and he said, yeah, I got referred by so-and-so. Oh, I love so-and-so. Yeah, I need the inspection now because you have a due diligence period. And then I want to have my contractors, everybody look at it. He goes, yeah, I can't fit you in the schedule. I'd love to, but because you're so-and-so's friend, can't fit you in the schedule. I go, somebody told me you charge $5.50. He goes, you know what? I already told you I can't fit you in the schedule, and you're not gonna try and negotiate the price on me, right? I go, well, actually I am. So I want to pay $6.50, and I'm so-and-so's good friend.
Yeah.
Can you please squeeze me in? Because I know you charge $5.50 because you're so good. I want to pay you $6.50. And he laughed. He goes, nah, I'll squeeze you in. It'll only be $5.50. I still paid him $6.50. And that was the guy that told me, yeah, your HVAC's not working, and I don't know, and that's it.
Yeah.
End of story. So
that's the beginning of the journey, though. It's the general inspection. It's getting an overview of the physical condition of the property and the systems.
Correct. And so, again, 2 brand new instant on water heaters, and you turn on the water and you get no hot water, period. Right near, there's a big one and a small one. And you go right near the big one and you turn the spigots on that are, within 20 feet of the big one. You turn the spigots on, man, it's like hot water right away. You go another 20 feet into the house, I'm into the kitchen, there's no hot water. Like, what is going on? You want to take a shower in the primary, you just got to run the water for 5 minutes. I'm like, what is going on? Home inspector, same thing. He's like, I turn the faucets on, 1 minute is acceptable. It's the upper level of acceptable. trust me, a minute you do not want.
A long time. It's
Not,
a lot of water.
you don't want a
of water.
You don't want a $5 million house. You turn the spigot on and it takes 59 seconds to get the hot water. You'd be like, it's the longest 59 seconds ever. And we were way exceeding that.
Yeah.
But same thing. He's like, hey, you got brand new water heaters. The water's not getting hot. So I went through all of these long list of things. The fixtures were all extremely cheap and ugly. You couldn't get cheaper like shower heads, and they try to do the fancy ones with like the 20 nozzles.
Sure.
But I don't know where they got it because it barely was sticking to the wall, and a lot of things were thoughtlessly done. So you've got this bathroom, the primary bathroom. Like this is what, and I also had other realtor friends come over after the fact, and they're like, "This is what you're complaining about? Like you've either lost your mind or you have money to burn because, but you're talking about a primary bathroom that if I designed it myself would be half the size." So people walk into that and it's very impressive. And there's also some thoughtlessness to it. Like my fiance will not go to the bathroom in there because there's a giant picture window in the bathroom, which is super cool, by the way. You can look right out, the view, whatever, right? You go to the bathroom in there, you're just sitting on the toilet and, it's like if the gardener's walking by, you wave to the gardener. I don't mind. I give the gardener a thumbs up.
There you go.
It's going fine. He gives me a thumbs up back. His job's going fine. Exactly. Mine's going fine. It's like, we're all good. She doesn't want that.
Yeah.
She's in the bathroom somewhere else in the house where you can actually close the doors.
Luckily, you have plenty of them.
Yeah. So these are the things that a buyer for a $5 million house walks in and says, you know what? No way.
Yeah, the thing I want to add to that is all of those kind of disparate kind of disconnects in choices, quality of finishes, and/or appliances, and all of these appliances not working. It also removes some of the emotionality of the house, right?
Yeah.
The lack of a kind of like someone looked at the house and thought of it in through a single lens of aesthetic or anything like that. It lacked a little bit of it lacked emotionality. It lacked like drama. It lacked emotion.
Yeah.
And when people are buying a home, there is an element of the normal people. There's an element of emotion. This is the backdrop for my life, for my events, for my children, for my friends, for all these different significant pieces of your life, and having that kind of almost homogeneous or a lack of passion to the application that this particular investor had, right?
Correct.
It reflected in its sellability.
And I'll tell you one piece of advice that somebody gave me. It'll come a little later in the conversation. But one of the other things that was a detraction was that the primary closet, as huge as it is, like if they did an IKEA closet, which would not be appropriate for a $5 million house, an IKEA closet would have been a major upgrade. I do not know what they did inside that closet. Like they got the cheapest plywood and painted it. And just imagine you're going into a $5 million house. You go into the primary closet. It's like cheap wood, cheap
DIY
everything, like painted, kind of a weird color.
Yeah.
I'm like, first thing I'm going to do is get California Closets in here, right? California Closets charges 60 G's for a closet that size.
Yep.
For real.
Oh, I know.
And that was the first, that's one of the first things I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I thought, right? So now I get through all the due diligence. I'm almost all the way through the due diligence. And this is an example of avoiding the money pit versus getting into the money pit. Know exactly what you need to do to bring that house up to really saleable saleability at the price it deserves. And exactly what does that take? And so here's one example. When I had most of the inspections done, I had my architect come by, I had, contractor come by, I had an engineer come by, and they said to me, "You've taken us through the whole house. It's all like super fixable." And I go, "How much?" Like, "Well, they don't want to give you." I'm like, "Come on, I'm not going to hold you the price. Give me," he's like, "You could fix everything for $200,000 or less, except if that infinity pool is not set in properly, because you're on that hillside, you're going to have caissons. It's going to have to be like, if that infinity pool is not set in properly, run from this." So I go, "Okay, that's good advice. Everything that looks terrible, everything that is a bummer is easily fixable. And the one thing you can't see, if that's not right, run." So I had the engineer, the geologist, the architect, and the architect, went to the city, pulled the plans to make sure that the plans were all, he said, "I got to tell you, like, to get a pool approved in this area, like the city is coming out and checking this to death.
They're not messing around.
You're likely fine." And then the geologist and the engineer are within hearing range of this. They go, "Okay, so let us just tell you that," or the architect and the general contractor was nearby. He goes, "Okay, I agree with what your architect said, but let me tell you, okay, I'm sure they did it for less. If you had me come out and do this pool, I would charge you $500,000 because it's a little pool. It's like the caissons and everything." He goes, "I wouldn't touch this pool for under $500,000.
Wow.
So that's when he said, because it's also the general contractor. It's like, "Oh, the lights, we can fix that. We don't know." He's not an HVAC guy. Same thing. He's like, "I don't know what's wrong with the HVAC, but you're under warranty. Like, none of this stuff is like hits the radar.
Yeah.
But run if the pool's not set in right." So then I had the architect go out and pull all the city plans and make sure that it was built according to plan and that the plans were in fact, for the right number of caissons and all that sort of thing. And it was done correctly. And so as soon as I got that feedback, then I'm a go.
All right. So now you have assessed everything.
So now I'm gonna
gotten all your information, done your due diligence.
I'm gonna jump to the whiteboard quickly.
Come on.
And write it out for you, because I want this to apply to everyone.
Great.
So you got your home purchase.
Got it.
And let's just go roughly 5,000 square feet. A house that was done right with that view is $1,200 a square foot all day long.
All day.
The math's actually pretty simple. Okay, that math's easy. And when you say all day, it means that's an easy sale.
Yeah.
That's not a stretch.
It's a very common price point per square foot for houses of that caliber.
Right. So now
in that area.
Now this is the brain damage line. What's standing between the 4.65 million and the $6 million is the brain damage.
Yep.
And I'm left with $350,000 room to spend fixing the brain damage to still come up with $6 million. And I say to you that the fix is well under $200,000.
Where did that 350 number come from?
Because you're at 4.65.
Okay.
So it's 350. Thanks for asking. So it's 350,000 short of 5 million.
Got you.
And that gives me, if we get past the brain damage, that's your plus $1 million.
And so you receive that 350 as the cure
I've got 350
to cure everything.
to cure it and still have $1 million.
Got it.
Still have $1 million room. And what I'm telling you is the cure is really, like I said, the closets, for example. The first thing I was going to do was like, let's get California closets. California closets for a closet that size is 60 grand just to fix the closet. Okay, so it seems like it would eat that 350 very quickly. Now, one interesting thing, piece of advice, again, like I'm in the business this many years, and I'm amazed at how, basic advice is still great advice if you don't see it. So basic advice that somebody said to me was, I'm like, I don't want to live in a construction project. Let me get a bunch of stuff fixed right away. And I'm trying to figure out, where do I move this wall? What do I do with this? How am I going to change this thing? Because the other thing is all you have to do is fix the brain damage to get to the other side. But I wasn't even thinking like that. I was thinking, I want it done the way I want it done, which is beyond that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about moving walls that didn't necessarily need to be moved. I'm thinking about changing fixtures that didn't necessarily need to be changed, or an upgrade beyond what you would do on a spec house. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. And somebody gave me great advice. They said, you know what? Just move in and live with it. I was going, the closet.
Could be me who gave you that advice.
It could have been you.
It could have been me. Yeah. Because I think that's sound advice. Yeah.
For example, the kitchen cabinetry, it looks good, but it's super cheap.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to rip the kitchen out. I'm going to do, whatever. It's now been 2.5 years. I'm with the same kitchen. Now it has high-end appliances. That's the way they
create the illusion.
Okay, we know we need high-end appliances. We'll put the, and for me, do I really need a $15,000 range? No, but it's there. Do I really need the $15,000 refrigerator? No, but it's there, And then the cabinetry looks good, but as soon as you open the door, you're like, are you serious? So this is what's going to scare people away. And then when I get in there, Joey says, hey, live with it a while. Don't rip the kitchen out yet. See, and now I am 2.5 years later. I'm like, the kitchen's fine. It looks good.
Yeah.
You pull the door open. It's a cheap particle board door, which you shouldn't have in a $6 million house.
Absolutely.
But it's
not in
hurting my
alignment
feelings.
with the expectations of a $6 million buyer.
Yeah, but it's not hurting my feelings right now.
Visually, it works, right? It presents well, but upon closer inspection,
correct,
comes up short.
So that's why I used this example.
All right, I get that.
Because guess what? Oh, the other thing was with the closets. It looked so bad, the closet. And then as soon as I put all my clothes in there, I'm like, the closet's fine.
Yeah.
It's now gone from the top of the list.
It's massive closet, though. It's a massive closet.
And it's gone from the first thing I do to the last thing I do. And as would be expected, some of the stuff that I thought that was going to be easier to fix was way harder to fix. Some of the stuff that was harder was actually not that bad. The cost of putting a new there were 2 separate HVAC systems in, and the cost to put just brand new high end instead of lower end HVAC relative to the price of the house was even worked into this. And I haven't done that because it turns out it just needed a chip that was missing. Right. They put the chip in.
It wasn't installed properly.
Yeah. And they put
not uncommon with developers and investor clients who don't have the great. They make all the choices, they buy all the items, and it sometimes they just don't connect things properly, right? There's an electrician, there's an HVAC guy, there's and
they're not talking.
They're not talking.
It's like the medical system, right?
Absolutely.
So, one piece of advice. This is something I am good at. Is when people come to fix the things that are so obviously wrong, and then I did hire a project manager, so I didn't have to manage the whole thing myself. You could, it's only because I work a lot. And when I come home, I don't want to project manage something.
It's not your highest and best use, Paul.
It's not my highest and best use. So I have a project manager.
And what the project manager would do is he would say, you can't believe, like, it's almost like they did this on purpose. Like, and I'll give you one example of that. He goes, you turn on I was turning on the spigot turning on the spigot in the primary shower, and like rust comes out. Like, even if I just don't have it on, like the one attachment, I don't turn it on for like 2-3 days, rust comes out. I'm like, what is going on? The home inspectors, who we were all copper pipes.
Yeah.
So you get the guy underneath the house, and he's like, it's like they had to do this on purpose. You have all copper pipes, so they paid for the copper pipes, and the connectors are galvanized. Like,
what?
Like, who would do that? It's like it's 75 cents extra for the copper connector, and it's like it's almost like they did it on purpose. And you know what I did? I said to the project manager, in my mind, here's the bucket of money to fix all the brain damage. Okay, I don't want to hear about it. Don't tell me about.
It's in your head.
Yeah, it's almost like it's sabotage. I don't want to hear that. Right? That's why I have a project manager.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much does it cost to fix? Oh, okay. Not much at all, right? What's $2,000 to switch out all the connectors?
All the connectors.
Should have done it originally. Okay, great. So it's $2,000. Just bring it in. Okay? So same thing with the lights. I have a plan to like pull out most of the lights and redo and whatever. But the first thing, and I haven't done that yet. And the first thing that I did was I called the electrician. I go, hey, here's the deal. I want dimmers on every switch in the house. And not only that, I want the dimmers that are controlled by Wi-Fi. Yeah. So I can sit in bed, I can turn off all the lights. I'm going to go from terrible to great. And another example just of the way I do things is, I get the great guy, so it's going to take him, weeks to get out there, whatever. Okay, fine. And then he's got to get out there. He looks at the plates, what kind of new plate are you going to have to order the parts, all that. This is brain damage, right?
Of course.
And then when he's finally coming for the install, I'm off to work, and he calls me like, hey, I'm here for the install. Did you forget? I go, I didn't forget. The housekeeper's there. She'll let you in. He goes, yeah, but I got to walk you through the house and you got to tell me which things need the dimmer. And I'm like, well, I already told you, all of them. He goes, you don't want them on all of them. I go, yeah, I do. He goes, no, you don't. I go, okay, what are you talking about? He goes, do you want a dimmer on the closet of the 4th bedroom? You want a dimmer there? I go, no, I don't want a dimmer there. He goes, well, that's why you need to be here. I go, no, it's not. You decide. I promise not to gripe. If you put one extra in or you put in one less, I won't complain. Just go with the one extra instead of one less. Yeah. Where you really think it's dumb to put the dimmer, don't put the dimmer. But other than that, I don't want to hear about it.
You hire him as a
consultant
as well as an installer, right? I mean, your project manager should set the standard for the whole house, right? If that's the way you're going to go, right? He's the guardian of the stand. He communicates with you. He finds out the way you want to live your life, and he creates that for you.
Mm-hmm. And look, it's not to say that there's not some heartburn because, like I said, that the HVAC turns out to be a fix that's way easier than I anticipated. Yeah. And now here's one that's not. I have such a great network of realtors and developers. I go, give me your best plumber. Best plumber comes out, he goes, yeah, no problem. I know why you got to just do this thing and that thing. And I'm not listening. Yeah. Like, you're the plumber. I'm not a plumber. Like, whatever was wrong to get it right, do that thing.
Yeah.
And how much does that thing cost? Yeah. And they're like, it's $5,000. I go, great. Let's do it. $5,000. I have hot water throughout the whole. Yeah, because, you've got the industrial size instant on, and then you've got the regular size instant on. Between the two, I mean, hot water everywhere, right? I'm like, 5 Gs is great. Let's go. 5 Gs, 2 days. How do I turn the thing on? It's not hot. I'm like, dude, what happened? He's like, they come back out. Eventually, they're like, you know what? I charge you $5,000. Like, let's just make it $3,000. I did a few things. Like, I'm out.
He didn't even solve the problem.
Did not solve the problem.
He didn't suggest a circulating pump?
He did suggest a circulating
Okay.
pipe. Put in, paid for, doesn't help. Okay?
Yeah.
See, you know things. I don't even know these
Yeah.
things. So, okay. The fourth plumber, all come highly recommended. Plumber 1, plumber 2, plumber 3. Nothing's fixed. I got to the point where you have to like take a step away from the project and go, look it. Okay, here's the deal. It's the $4.65 million house. I want to turn it into the $6 million house. Get me hot water. Don't look at what's there and say, this is what, I don't want to hear what needs to be fixed. Rip it all out, put it all back in. What do you do? And they go, oh, okay. I consulted with a friend. And I'm like, I'm losing my mind. He goes, well, you know, I buy apartment buildings in West Hollywood. The plumbing never works. And I don't call a plumber because a plumber is going to try and fix the plumbing. And you've got a plumbing that's just not going to work. They're going to get mired in the mud.
Yeah.
He goes, I call the guy in. He clips all the plumbing, clips all the stuff, puts all the caps on it. You know, you can hide it if you want, but mostly it's under the house, you know. Clips the whole thing, puts the new water heaters in and just runs new pipe everywhere. And you don't have to worry about what somebody else did. I'm like, wow, okay. Guy comes out, he's like, that'll be like $55,000 or something. I'm like, oh, wow, really? And I was that close to saying yes to the $55,000. And somebody's like, you know what, try my plumber. This guy, he solved every disastrous, hard thing ever. And the guy comes out, nice as can be. He's like, I know exactly what it is. You do this and you do that, and the thing is going to work. And I go, you know what, my man, you're the fourth guy, all come highly recommended. I just don't believe you. And I'm getting ready to like clip all the pipes and whatever. He goes, I mean, you could do that, but I'm telling you, what I told you is going to work. I'm like, how much is that going to cost? He's like, $5,500. I'm like, I'm not going to do it, you know, like, because I can't go another 3 G's deep, get nothing out of it. I'm like, and the guy was so cool. He's like, you know what? I'm going to charge you $5,500. If the hot water doesn't come on, don't pay me. You have a deal, my friend.
Yep.
So this is one of the more angsty things, you know, like I went, you know, and there's a lot of time passes between this because it's like the one guy, I call him, he's busy because he's, you know, it's like a year later, you know, I have hot water.
Yeah.
So there is part of the brain damage that hurts the head.
Oh, yeah.
And there's part of the brain damage that doesn't. And if you just reframe it, right? Reframe it as you're getting the 4.65 million jumping to the 6 million.
Yeah.
Reframe it. So to get here with the brain damage, you really have to reframe and say, look, this is what I got into. You don't want to miss this mark. So you don't want to think it's going to cost $350 and it costs $700. That's the money pit.
Yep.
Okay? But as long as you don't get this wrong, which you shouldn't, because you're getting a super qualified home inspector that's going to say, hey, you know what? By the way, you know what I did? When the home inspector said, hey, I just turned the heat on, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You got to call the HVAC guy. I called the HVAC guy.
Yeah.
And the HVAC guy comes out and he goes, all right, here's the deal. I don't know. I'm the HVAC guy. I don't know. But here's what I will tell you. The thing is under warranty. The warranty is still good. I checked it. You can just send it back and get a new one. And you get a new one, I'll make sure the thing works. So even the HVAC guy really didn't know because he couldn't turn it on.
Right.
So he's like, worst case scenario.
It's a computer chip.
Yeah, it's like worst case scenario because it's
issue.
this weird brand. I don't even deal with this brand. He goes, worst case scenario, here's the top line, here's the middle line, and I wouldn't go any below that for a house like this. Okay, what's the top line cost? It's still like everything else is done, all the ducts, everything is all good. It's just like pull the unit out, put a new unit in. Yeah. I forget what it was. It was less expensive than I thought. Like,
15 grand.
I don't think it was that much.
No, really. Just for a
new, because I had 2 units and one of them was working fine. So it's like, I forget what it was. All, you know, and all the ducts, everything was going great. So it's like the brand new unit. I don't think it was 15, but it doesn't matter, because 15 grand fits inside of this. I will also say this to you. If you're looking for an investment, okay, because one of the things we're going to do is this is a huge number.
Yeah.
All you have to do is take a zero off. That's all you have to do. I buy the $465,000 house. It should be 600 grand. Okay.
Yep.
You got to make sure that fix. The fix can't be huge. The fix has got to be 50 grand fix.
Right. In proportion to the purchase price.
That's correct. Right. You've got to get the $465,000 house that really only needs 50, 60 grand worth of work to make it into the $600,000 house. And you absolutely can do that. It's not going to be this disastrous thing, but it's going to be the stuff that doesn't look right. It was put in wrong. There's a lot of stuff you can do. There's a lot of ugliness you can remove for 50, 60 grand.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of value you can add for 50, 60 grand.
But if you want done, and we're talking about a hot market.
Yep.
You want done in a hot market, you're paying $600,000 for that house.
Yeah.
You want your 20% uptick, you're buying the house that's got some weird stuff going on, that's chasing the market away, and you're at $465,000. I want to do additional math for you. So now we're at $465,000 for the house that needs to get the brain damage done to get into the $600,000. Right now, you can get into a $465,000 house. I mean, easy 10% down. It might be less. Let's overestimate. Let's say you need $50,000 to get into that house.
Well, 10% down plus closing costs.
Right?
Boom, 50 grand.
Okay.
Sure.
So now you need 50 grand to get into this. If this were an investment property, okay, you would need 200 grand. Because, right, you're going to really need like about 30%.
Yep.
Right?
The advantages of buying one's own home are the loan offerings.
Yeah, the programs
and the amount of
strong.
leverage you can attain.
So now I'm in for 50 grand, and that allots for some of the. Remember, you don't have to do all this stuff all at once.
Yeah.
So I move into the ugly house. I got 50 grand. Move into the ugly house. Here we are. I'm going to fix some stuff as I go. I'm going to hire a plumber to do this. I'm going to do a little of that myself. I'm going to, right? Over time, maybe you put 30 grand in plus some of your time, right? Now you have 80,000 cash in, okay? That 50,000 takes down the amount that you owe, right?
Yeah.
That 30,000 is going into your house, and now you've got $80,000 down. You've got your $600,000 house, where you've put $495,000 or $500,000 total, including debt. Now you have $100,000 equity on $80,000. So you've made more than 100% return on your money.
On your investment.
Correct.
Yep.
And you get to live in a house that you like.
Yep.
And this is you can do this in a hot market. Right now, the opportunity to do this is, you can find 10 of these.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think identifying the right properties is is key, right? And so that's a relational piece, right? You're doing some of the work yourself, and hopefully you have a passion for the product and the process, and you're starting to understand the elements of one property against another. What should you be doing? Yes, you want to. We did a home inspection. We did our due diligence. We found out the condition the property is in today. Also, I think what you said is you want to understand the path to remedy.
Right.
also before you purchase the property. And then, I think one of your rules of investing properties in general is having the funds to get that property where you want it to be.
Yeah.
You would say in an investment property, you say cash flow, right?
Right.
But this is kind of, similar in that cash flowing means up to value.
Mm-hmm. And for this particular thing, when you live there, you can wait on some of the fixes.
Yeah.
If you're buying an investment property below market value because it has stuff that needs to get done, you got to get that stuff done right away, or you're not going to get the rents that you want to get. When you're living there yourself, I've been there 2.5 years. I love it. I haven't changed the closet.
Yeah.
If I had to resell that house and get the $6 million, I'm going to have California Closets come in there and put the $60,000
closet in there.
No question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fix those cabinets that look just fine.
Right.
I'm going to have to and there are ways to do that economically too. You keep the boxes and you put really high end wooden doors on it, and you make sure that you've got the high end, easy close and all that kind of stuff. That would be enough to take it up to that level. And I haven't done that. You can kick the can down the road on this,
on the spending,
and on this. Yeah.
So you wrote up there, great realtor. Are you focused on one realtor? Are you shopping realtors, or what are you looking for in that great realtor?
In full disclosure, okay, Joey and I both own and run brokerages. So, we have we're vested financially in saying don't go for sale by owner, or don't go represent yourself. So let's lay that out there. But I know enough about real estate that I definitely could do it without a realtor, and I wouldn't do it. So the first thing I do is I tell a realtor, hey, I'm in the business, I own a brokerage, and and I'm paying for your expertise.
Yeah.
I want you to find me a buy that's so great that I want to negotiate your commission in the other direction. It's just like the home inspector. Yeah. Oh, he's charging $550. I'm going to negotiate with him. It's higher than normal. I'm going to pay him $650 instead. That's who I want.
Yeah.
Okay. So a great realtor is going to have market knowledge.
Can I add something onto it?
Sure.
I think for this particular type of investment, I would want a realtor who actually has done it for himself, even, right? Or has experience with investment properties, because he's looking through that lens. Every realtor brings a different kind of superpower to the process. There are those who understand architecture. There are those who understand systems. There are those who understand a neighborhood. Someone who understands the investment process and has maybe done some investing himself and flips, and this is huge value.
Absolutely. So I would say a great realtor that knows that particular area, knows, when I say market knowledge, knows that neighborhood like the back of their hand, and also has rep developers. Yeah. And I will tell you, I consult with four of my realtor friends who I trust and really know real estate well. 4 of them say run from it. Then I consult with a 6th realtor, and he reps developers. And I spent maybe 5 minutes on the phone with him. I go, hey, I'm thinking about buying this house. I want to ask you a few questions. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I tell him the address. He's like, I've been in that house several times. There you go. There's your market knowledge. He's like, I know exactly what house you're talking about. And he's the one, he's like, it's next to the fire station. I go, I know that, but we sold a house down the street and the fire station doesn't make it. He goes, it's next to the fire station. I go, oh, okay, I get it. It's going to chase people away, whether it's a problem or not. That's your perceived defect, whether it really makes a difference or not. Okay, great. I go, it's all this stuff's wrong with it. Da 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 da. He goes, what's the price? I tell him the price. He goes, okay. How much do you think it's going to cost to fix? I go, fix like I want it, or if he goes, no, fix like
good enough to sell at that price point? I go, probably 200 grand. He goes, okay, great. What price are you getting in at? 465. Okay, so 465 plus 200 grand is 485. How many square feet is it? He goes, well, it's, just under 5,000 square feet. He's like, buy. I go, wow, okay. And why is that? Because number one, there's not a house on the market at all right now.
Under $1,000 a square foot.
That has that kind of view. It doesn't exist
Right.
on the market right now. It will come on the market, but right now there's none. And if it did, it would be $1,200 a square foot all day long.
All day.
So that was the 5-minute conversation that I had that said, this is a buy if you get through the due diligence. Actually, I'd done the due diligence. I was still nervous.
Sure.
Then I call him because he reps developers. And he's like, yeah, $1,200 a square foot with no problems all day long. That's your $6 million.
That's a great lens.
That's your, so, and then you want great inspectors.
And do your due diligence. Go deeper. Yes, general. Yes, pool. Yes, HVAC. Yes, yes on almost everything. I did stuff that nobody does. I had environmental testing out there, and then a really trusted contractor. Oh yeah.
So they go, yeah, we can fix all this for X number of dollars.
It's that's a team.
I mean, I would also throw in, great lender, right? But that's for any house buy.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Excellent. All right. Well,
So that's how I made $1 million on the purchase of my own home.
on the day of purchase.
On the day of purchase, you get extra leverage because you can get much better loan products when you're living in the house.
Okay.
Unlike an investment property, you don't have to have the money to do all the renovations set aside immediately. You can kick the can down the road on that purchase, and you're still getting that money right up front, that added value right up front. Now, I mean, you have to execute on it before you sell it.
Of course.
But the amount of increase that I was counting was post renovation or post damage fix. And so I was able to have a 25% gain on the moment that, and you could just say between 20 and 25%, but with the numbers that I ran, it was exactly 25% because it didn't take the full 200 grand to do it.
Right.
So 25% gain, essentially on the day that I buy in a hot market. Right now, you can do that easily. And
because it's a buyer's market.
Correct.
Right.
And the tools necessary are, a great realtor that knows the area well and also has experience representing developers, a very trusted contractor that will give you the real deal on what it's going to cost to fix things, a great inspector that's going to identify the things that need to be fixed, and inspector, general contractor working together.
What I would say as inspector, general contractor sort of together, it's about due diligence.
Yes.
Like dive into it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the brain damage is administration, right? Ministerial, right? Mm-hmm. It's a title issue, or it's a permit issue, or there's lots of ministerial problems that you can solve.
Correct.
To add value.
Yes.
Even to a single family house.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right.
All right. Bink. Nice job, brother.